Hello friends and welcome back to my channel. In today's video, we'll be doing a few very important practice questions on the poem Haunted Houses for Class 10 ICSE. This is the second part of this practice questions. The first part is already uploaded on our channel. Before watching this video, I kindly request you to watch the explanation video for this poem that is uploaded on our channel that has the whole explanation as well as the themes and figures of speech. Kindly watch that as well and use this video as your revision. So before we start, let us look at what we will be doing in this video. We will be doing a few long and analytical based questions stanza-wise from stanza 1 to stanza 5. So from each stanza, we will be taking the most frequently and mostly asked questions and trying to answer them together. So stanza-wise from the first stanza to the fifth, we will be taking the questions and we will be discussing the answers together, also the key points and keywords, and at the end of each I will also be giving you a few critical thinking questions, but for those questions I will not be giving you answers because such questions are completely based on your opinions. So you need to give your own personal opinions on what you think about the question. So here we will be doing it stanza wise, where stanza 1 to stanza 5 will be taken as the extract, and based on the extract I will be giving you questions which are both theory based as well as analytical, and we will be trying to answer and discuss the questions together. So first let's start with the first stanza. I have already done a detailed explanation on this poem. Kindly check out that as well. So from the first stanza, the question, why are all houses haunted and what kind of houses are these? The answer, the houses are visited by the phantoms who are the past occupants of the house. These are houses that once belonged to the phantoms. The houses have a dining table and they have portraits on the wall. They are not haunted, but they are visited by the spirits of the past occupants. I hope this is clear. Let us move on to the second question. Who are the harmless phantoms? How are they different from the usual image of the phantoms? The answer, they are the spirits of the past occupants of the house who died. They are harmless, silent, inoffensive, and can be felt as impalpable impressions on the air. They do not cause any harm or make noise, but they wish to spend time with us. Third question, what are the errands that's done by these phantoms? Are these errands different from the known errands of phantoms, and how? So the answer is, the phantoms, they spend time with their loved ones, they glide, they waft, and they join the guests at the dinner table. They hold in mortmain their old estates, and they regulate our perturbations of earthly wants and high aspirations. Yes, they are different. They do not cause any harm or trouble, but spend time with us, and they give us a sense of security and protection. Fourth question, explain how this extract suggests the title of the poem. The answer, the title is suggested through the poet's description of houses being filled with the presence of spirits of people who once lived and died there. The poet says that harmless phantoms move silently through the house, making every house seem haunted. However, the haunting is not frightening. It symbolizes the memories and unseen presence of the past. Thus, the extract clearly justifies the title Haunted Houses. You can also add your thinking and opinions and understandings along with the answers. I'm just mentioning all the key points, but you can definitely add your understanding as well. The fifth question: explain how the poet redefines the idea of a haunted house. The answer: the poet redefines a haunted house as not a place of fear or evil spirits, but as a house filled with the memories and unseen presence of people who once lived there. The phantoms are described as harmless and quiet, creating a calm and reflective atmosphere rather than a terrifying one. Next question: what is the significance of harmless phantoms? The phantoms symbolize the memories and lingering presence of people from the past. By calling them harmless, the poet creates a calm and peaceful atmosphere and suggests that the past quietly coexists with the present rather than causing fear. Seventh question: what does "feet that make no sound" suggest about the nature of spirits? The phrase "feet that make no sound" suggests that the spirits are silent, gentle, and invisible in nature. In haunted houses, the poet presents them as peaceful presences that move quietly without disturbing the living. It also emphasizes their supernatural and intangible quality. So that's all about the first stanza. These are the most probable questions, or if the questions are twisted, then the answers will probably be like this only. You can use the keywords and answer the questions. Though the questions will be a little different or twisted, the answer will remain the same. Now these are the critical thinking questions. To answer all these questions, it's based on your opinions. So you need to express your personal opinions and also justify it with a few points for which you will be given the allotted marks. So this is all we have from the first stanza. I hope you have understood. Kindly let me know if you have any other points to add towards what I have said or shown. It will be a great help. So let us move ahead to the second stanza. The first question: at what places in the house are these phantoms found later in the poem, and how do they move? The answer is: they can be met at the doorway, on the stairs, and along the passages they come and go. They waft, they float, and glide through the open doors to do their errands. Errands are duties that we discussed earlier. Second question: what is meant by the impalpable impressions on the air, and how are they felt? Impalpable impressions on the air refers to the invisible presence of spirits that cannot be physically touched or seen. The poet suggests that these spirits are sensed emotionally or spiritually rather than through the physical senses. They are felt through a sense of feeling that something is moving around. So here we come to the end of the questions that can be asked from the second stanza. Second stanza is very short and it does not have too much of understanding. It's more of theoretical based. So these are the questions that can come, and also these will be the probable answers that you can give. What you need to do is give the key points and the exact words that's given in the text. And these are also the critical based questions that you can get from this second stanza, and you need to answer them based on your opinion. Let us move on to the third stanza. The first question: why are there more guests at the table? How do these uninvited guests behave at the table? The answer: the phantoms join the guests at the dinner table making the number of guests more than invited by the hosts. They are quiet and inoffensive and as silent as the pictures on the wall. So these are all the keywords that you need to add, and later on you can of course extend the lines and number of words, but these are the main keywords. Second question, why are they described as quiet and inoffensive? State two other traits of the ghosts. The phantoms are not perceived by smell or sight, but can be felt. They do not harm us or disrupt our day-to-day activities. They are also harmless and impalpable. Third question, why are they described as silent as pictures on the wall? Whose pictures are they? The answer, they make no noise and cause no harm. Though they are at the table, their presence is not felt by physical senses. They do not trouble us, and their memories stay with us even after they are gone. The pictures are of the past occupants who are our loved ones. Next question. Which figure of speech is used in this extract? Explain. The figure of speech used in this extract is a simile. The silence of the ghosts is compared to the silence as when they were pictures on the wall. The phantoms are compared to the pictures on the wall. I have done a detailed explanation on the figures of speech as well as the explanation and connected the points in the explanation video. Kindly watch that, and you can also take points from there and put it in your answer. It will be a great bonus. Now these are the critical based questions you can get from this stanza. Again, you should answer it from your opinion, and also you can also add to it from what you have understood through the explanations, and also you can add your thinking and understanding with it. So let us move on to the fourth stanza. This is a very important stanza. The first question, what contrast is drawn between the poet and the stranger? The answer, the poet can sense and understand the presence of the spirits and the memories of the past, while the stranger can perceive only the physical world around him. The poet is spiritually aware and imaginative, whereas the stranger is limited to ordinary reality. The poet can see the past and present, but the stranger can see only the present. Again, I have done a detailed explanation based only on this in the previous video. Kindly watch that, and you can take the points from there and add it into your answer according to what you have understood. Second question, why is the stranger unable to perceive the spirits? The answer, he can see only the physical world and lacks the poet's spiritual awareness and imagination. He notices only what is, while the poet can also sense all that has been, meaning the memories and presence of the past. He has spiritual and historical knowledge, and his memories of his loved ones are so strong and vivid that they seem almost real to him. I hope this is clear. Let us move on to the third question. Explain the line, all that has been visible and clear. The answer, the line, all that has been visible and clear, means that the poet is able to sense and remember the past vividly. He feels the presence of people who once lived and died in the house, making the past seem alive and real to him. It shows the poet's deep imagination and spiritual awareness. Next question. What does this stanza suggest about human perception? The answer, Human perception is limited and differs from person to person. While ordinary people can perceive only the visible and physical world, sensitive and imaginative individuals, such like the poet, can also sense the unseen presence of the past and the spiritual world. The stanza highlights the contrast between physical perception and deeper spiritual awareness. Now, these are the critical thinking questions that you can get from this stanza, which are very important. You need to answer this according to your understanding and your opinions about what you think of the stanza, the poem, and the question. Now, let us move on to the fifth stanza. The questions that can come are, the first question, who are we in this extract? And why do they not have title deeds to house or lands? The answer, we in this extract refers to the present living generations. The owners of the houses stretch their dusty hands from graves forgotten and claim their estates. Many generations have lived and died before them. The poet suggests that the past owners still spiritually remain connected to their old homes and estates. Second question, who are the owners and occupants of earlier dates? The answer, they are people who once owned the lands and estates, but now they are dead. Still, their spirits come and hold in mortmain their old estates. They are the people of previous generations who once lived in those houses and owned those lands, but now they are dead. The poet suggests that their memories and spiritual presence still remain connected to those places. Next question. Explain the line, from graves forgotten, stretch their dusty hands. Now this is a very important question and it can be asked in various ways, but this is the answer that you need to write. The earlier occupants of the house have died, but they stretch their dusty hands from graves forgotten and claim their ownership. When they died, the present generation buried them in their graves, but later forgot them and they were unattended. That is, the graves were unattended. They were never, looked back at. But the phantoms have not forgotten the past or what they did when they were alive. Their memories and spiritual presence still remain connected to their old homes and lands. Next question. Who holds in mortmain still their old estates and why? The answer, the earlier occupants have died and now their ghosts hold in mortmain still their old estates. Though they are dead, they still haven't accepted the reality and still wish to be close to us and live like when they were alive. They want to claim back the ownership. Their memories and spiritual presence continue to remain connected to the properties they once owned. This suggests that human ownership is temporary while the influence of the past continues to exist. This is also a very important answer and you can write it in your own way. Just make sure you use the very important keywords and the exact words that are mentioned in the text. It's very important because they carry marks. And these are the probable critical thinking questions that you can get from this stanza. So in this video, we have discussed stanza-wise analytical and critical thinking questions from stanza 1 to stanza 5 of Haunted Houses. If you have any additional points, interpretations or answers, feel free to mention them in the comments below. It could help everyone understand the poem better. Also remember that critical thinking questions should come from your own understanding of the poem and its deeper meaning. Even if the board asks the questions in a different way, most of the answers will still revolve around these same ideas, themes and keywords. So make sure you understand the concepts and use important keywords while writing your answers in the exam. And I'll continue the remaining stanzas in the next video. Stay tuned and thank you so much for watching. Let us meet again in another educational video. Till then, thank you and happy learning.